Welcome back to the Soul Spinner YouTube channel. I'm Nicole, and I'm currently in Mount Vernon, Washington, where they hold the Skagit Valley Tulip Festival. Now, behind me right now are not tulips, they're daffodils, but this farm has 800 acres of bulb flowers. They are the largest producing bulb manufacturer here in the United States. Pretty impressive, right? This is just a fraction of the places that I get to see while I'm on my tour of the country and living my van life adventures. And today I'm going to bring you along for another story. I will start off today by telling you the name of my van, and that is Solveig. It's a name from Scandinavian origin that means strong house or daughter of the sun. And I can't say that there's a better fitting name for my van, honestly. And it even ties into the name of my YouTube channel. You'll notice Soul Sprinter with a twist on soul, S-O-L. But then in my logo, you also see that I talk about where the sun meets the soul. Anyone who knows me knows that I thrive in warm climates, under the sun. I often refer to myself as a child of the sun. So when I had to name my van, I had to think what really resonated with me. And actually a friend of mine, a dear friend who knows me very well, sent me this one day and said, I think this is the name. I think this is the name of your van. And it resonated so strongly. For all of you who joined my last video, in the soul-searching moment that I shared with you all, I thank you for your response. I thank you for your presence. It was truly amazing to be able to show another side, another layer of who I am and have it received so well. And I just wanted to thank you all for that. Last week I promised we'd be getting back to the van build, and that's exactly what we're doing. We're going to be talking about my fan installation. I went with the Max Air, I believe it's the Deluxe. I'll list the item description below. And I had a strong learning curve. There was a lot I didn't know about how to put this fan in the van, and I definitely watched a fair amount of YouTube videos, which actually did not cover the fact that your van roof is not flush, and I needed a separate part to make that flush. Now, luckily, my uncle's a genius who has a whole garage full of everything and had the proper tools to design this part. They do have this part available online, which is great. Someone is out there manufacturing these, but it was quite expensive. And I just didn't want to pay that for something I felt like, my uncle could do. So he actually had some ABS plastic and used some epoxy and was able to make this part that fit perfectly on the roof of my van. Now that we had that part made, we had to cut a hole in the roof of the van. Now, anytime I cut any hole or drilled any hole in the van, I ensured to use rust protection before I took any further steps into installing anything. And I really, really recommend you guys looking into that a little further and implementing that in your build as well. Everyone knows that on these vehicles, the big concern is rust over time. Coming from a long line of cabinet makers, I was really excited about being able to select the different types of wood I wanted in the van and the different stains and implementing them all together. Now, you tell me to design a particular room in a house and I will not do a very good job, but you tell me to pick out cabinetry for a kitchen or wood floors and implement all of that together. I'm your girl. My side paneling is comprised of 1/4-inch birch with a white stain. And I tried multiple different types of stain before I went to the white. None of them really gave me that warm fuzzy feeling of, yes, this is the one. And then actually a woman in Ace Hardware who was working there up in Stanwood, Washington, recommended the white stain. And I had never thought about white stain before. I've whitewashed things, but I've never stained anything white. So it turned out really beautiful, and I was very, very pleased with the project. When deciding about a polyurethane or a lacquer finish, I ended up going with a lacquer finish, which I was really pleased with the product. However, the smell of the product was pretty intense. We actually had to bring the project into my uncle's garage due to inclement weather, meaning we were in a confined space with some pretty harsh chemicals and smells. And unfortunately, his 2-story home filled up with that smell. And I would say for the next 3 days, all we could smell in there was lacquer. I think our IQs all dropped maybe a smidge after that. But we took the proper precautions when we were working on the project anyway, and made sure that we were trying to take care of our lungs. As you'll notice, I'm not the best about PPE, personal protective equipment, when I'm doing these projects. I assume my own liability, and I do not recommend anyone follow in my footsteps when it comes to installing things barefoot and or building things in yoga pants, but again, to each their own. The really great part about my side paneling and working with my uncle on this project was he is a template master. He was able to actually create templates for the wheel wells and all of the nooks and crannies of the van in order to create a very nice looking finished product that there's no way I could have done that on my own. So again, Uncle, thank you, thank you, thank you. Next up, I want to talk about my flooring. Now, my flooring was really, really important because it's my flooring, it's the base, it's the foundation, right? Anyone knows flooring is nothing to be messed around with. And I knew that this van was going to be involved in a lot of outdoor areas. I have a dog. I needed it to be darn near waterproof, pet proof. I went with a tongue and groove laminate flooring. It was really easy to install. It met all of the requirements, what I was looking for in my flooring, and it was on sale at Home Depot. Just alignment, if I could say the least. And that was a project left for myself. The really interesting thing about a van is nothing is square. So installing the flooring was quite the challenge. And I am very proud to announce that it came out beautiful. And I definitely would recommend everyone really, really looking into the flooring and what their needs are before they go and purchase it, because I knew that I wasn't going to be able to go with something soft. Now, I already had a subfloor in my van. I was really lucky. The owner previous had already installed a really nice plywood subfloor. As I was trying to create as much space in the van as possible, I didn't want to build up the floor anymore. I felt like it had insulated and been strong enough, so I just actually laid my flooring right on top of that pre-existing subfloor. A friend of mine had made me this beautiful entryway plate with my logo on it for my van, and it holds a lot of special meaning, and I really appreciate all of the people who've put their time and energy into putting their artistic creativity into my space, and I definitely feel the presence of every single person who's contributed in that van, and I just want to extend additional thank yous to everyone. And a lot of you know who you are, so I won't go into that, but this has really been a community project, and I look forward to that community aspect continuing connecting with people, even if they're not necessarily in front of me. I would really like to share that living in a van is not about compromising the things in your life and reducing them. Living in a van is about expansion. It's about finding the things that you love the most and surrounding yourself with just those things. I have a theory that we keep things in our house and in our life that don't necessarily bring us a lot of good feelings. Maybe it's a reminder of something, but maybe that reminder isn't great. And I think it's important to realize that the more you remove those things from your life, the more beauty you see around you, because you're only keeping the most beautiful things around you. My challenge for you is this: find 5 things in your home, in your car, in your office, wherever. Find 5 things in your life that you look at that don't make you feel good. They don't have to make you feel bad, but they don't make you feel good either. I challenge you to challenge your family to do this. Find 5 things. Maybe re-gift them. Maybe throw them away. I don't know. Maybe it's an ex-boyfriend's t-shirt and you want to light it on fire. Who knows, okay? Follow the laws on that one. But I'm telling you, the more you keep beautiful things like these flowers in your life, the more you will start to feel and be a resemblance of that. I'd like to sincerely take the time to thank you for yet another video and another experience shared. Next time, I'd love to share with you more on the van build, on the adventures I'm having, and just life. Please join me. Please share. Please subscribe. I appreciate all of you. Thank you. Until next time.